Hypnosis for being comfortable being seen. Before we begin, get yourself into a settled, comfortable position, either lying down or seated with an upright posture. I'm going to be asking you about your experience of being in trance. And I'd like to remind you that to be in trance is the same as when you sit and daydream. That's trance. It's the same as when you're driving and you get to the end of the journey and realise that you have arrived while your thoughts have been elsewhere. I'm sure you can remember doing that. That's trance. If for any reason you need to stop this hypnosis session, you are able to choose to do so at any time. The same applies if something happens to this audio track whilst it is playing. You will easily become aware of that and be able to count from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and open your eyes, which will return you to a full waking state. Now take a moment to get really settled. Get comfortable with your eyes open. Take a few deep breaths. And let's begin. Have you ever been in trance before? Right now? Did you experience that state as being similar to the waking state, or different from the waking state? Can you find a spot on the wall that you would like to look at comfortably? As you continue comfortably looking at that spot for a while, do your eyelids want to blink? Will those lids begin to blink one at a time, twice or 3 times before they close altogether? Rapidly or more slowly? Will they just close now, or will they flutter all by themselves first? Will the eyes close more and more as you get more and more relaxed? That's right. Can those eyes just stay closed for your comfort, able to go deeper and deeper, just like when you go to sleep? Can your comfort go more and more deeply inside, so that you'd rather not even try to open your eyes? Or would you rather really try in vain and find you cannot? And just when will you soon forget about them altogether, because your unconscious wants you to dream? My voice will go with you as your mind and body become more relaxed, and you go deeper and deeper into trance right now. You will remember everything that I say unconsciously, and you will forget everything that I say consciously. If for any reason you need to stop this hypnosis track, you are able to do so at any time from counting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and open your eyes to return to a full waking state. And as you're feeling more and more deeply relaxed, listening to the sound of my voice, just notice that any other sounds that you hear around you, like the sound of traffic in the distance and the ticking of the clock, will all assist you to reach a deeper and deeper level of trance, deeper than you've ever experienced before. Allow your mind to follow my voice as you relax, and allow your unconscious mind to take in all that it will hear. Imagine you are standing on the terrace of a beautiful coastal sandstone palace on a gorgeous sunny afternoon. The temperature is just perfect for you. There are one or two voices every now and then in the distance somewhere. Gentle laughter, happy. There must be a tennis court hidden behind the trees. You can hear the sound of the bat meeting the ball, the bat meeting the ball, an hypnotic rhythm. Occasionally a pause, then a quicker rhythm before another pause. There is something familiar and reassuring about the sounds. You feel so at ease. The terrace is large, and as you walk around its paths, you hear the crunch of the gravel under your feet. There are beautiful flower beds full of tulips, radiant yellows and luxurious reds, contrasting with the long green leaves which are waving softly on the breeze. Beautiful sculpted bushes sit around the edges, flanked by roses. Miniature conical evergreens sit in other beds, surrounded by abundant plants full of blooms. So much care has been taken. The beds are each part of a pattern that create a framed, broken circle in the center of which stands a statue. Its plinth is made of the solid sandstone of the palace walls. The statue itself, a deep, dark metal. You pause for a moment, taking in the skill and artistry of the sculptor who created this thoughtful piece. You lift your focus and walk towards the balustrade of the terrace. And as you do, you notice how blue the sky is against the dark green of the trees on the horizon, and the emerald green of the grass, which stretches out in all directions as far as the eye can see. There is a path through the center of the grass, sandstone in color, marked on each side by larger versions of the conical evergreens from the terraces. It seems to you as if they could be protecting the path from the rolling green hillside. You follow the path with your eyes, noticing how it extends and extends further on down, one long ribbon of colour through the green. You notice that on the horizon where the path may end, you can make out the subtly different shade of blue of the sea from the sky, with the little white sailing boats seemingly drifting between the two. This glimpse of the sea looks like it's being cradled by the deep green of the woodland. And you notice that as you breathe more deeply, you can feel and catch the scent of the fresh sea air on the breeze, mingled with the aroma of the flowers and evergreens. You raise your face up for a moment to the sun and smile from the inside out as you turn to find a seat and face this grand, gentle palace. You consider how long it stood there, solid for so many, many decades, a tranquil guardian of the land around it. As you sit, you allow yourself the time to fully absorb the deep peace that the presence of this building and landscape offer. And as you observe in detail the architecture of this palace, you notice how much more deeply relaxed you feel as you begin to count the windows. There's one on the top floor, the windows there, smaller than on the other floors, full of light as they look out to the cradled sea and the little sailing boats drifting through sea and sky, drifting soundlessly, watching, observing, 2. The next level down now. More deeply relaxed. 3. And then 4. And you might wonder as you begin to feel even more deeply relaxed how many stunning sunsets those windows have witnessed. 5. The big bay window. What a wonderful light. How relaxing it must be to sit in that window and look out onto this perfect view. 6. Contemplating, over halfway. 7. Feeling utterly peaceful now. 8. The grand staterooms, relaxation seeping through your body. 9. In the sedate ground floor window of the library, your eyes settle on the chair and relax with your mind as the tulips are reflected softly waving, softly waving. 10. Completely relaxed now. Way back when, in ancient times, at a time when most people travelled on foot and few by horseback, a king decided to have a large boulder placed in the middle of the main road which led to his castle. Once the boulder was in place, the king hid nearby behind the hedgerow, but with a clear view of the boulder. He had decided to wait and see if anyone would attempt to remove it from the road. Not long after he'd settled himself down, some of his wealthiest merchants and courtiers made their way up the road. None of these people made any attempt to move the boulder, they simply walked around it. The king even heard a few of them loudly complaining about it and blaming him for not taking better care of the roads. The king found this very interesting, since these were some of the very same courtiers and advisors who were so ready to suggest how the rest of his subjects should be behaving and working together to build a stronger kingdom. As he was contemplating this, a farmer came along carrying a heavy load of vegetables for the market. As he approached the boulder, he slowed his pace and put down his load. The farmer began to try and move the boulder to one side of the road. He tried many things, levering it with a large branch, which did seem to shift it a little, pushing it, rocking it back and forth. After much hard work and determination, he finally managed to move the boulder to the side of the road where it could remain without impeding anyone's journey. I was talking with a very good friend recently who has been struggling to move her life forward. She had once owned a successful business in the village where she'd been born, and where she'd subsequently come back to bring up her own children. She had been very well established within the community, but had reached a point where she'd known it was time to change. She'd sold her business just as her last son went to university. My friend had retrained as a coach, a role that she loved, but somewhere along the line she had lost her work persona in her role as a carer for her elderly relatives. She hadn't yet fully embraced the new business or the possibilities it offered. Whilst speaking with her, it transpired that the element she was finding most difficult was getting out there online and saying, "I am a coach and I am here to help you." Self-promotion was a huge obstacle to her. She knew the theory behind marketing, but hadn't yet taken the action needed. Why? We'd talked some more, and she'd admitted that there was an underlying fear of other people's opinions of her new choice of career, and ultimately her. She had already been through, and importantly survived, a messy divorce, with the village chatter, and she recognised that she wasn't sure she could handle anything like that level of comment or interest in her life again. She didn't want to bring any unnecessary stress to her family. She also realised that that maybe a part of her had felt very safe being almost invisible for the past few years. Safe, but less and less fulfilled, because she knew that she had the potential to live her life, which to her was her family, but also a purposeful career. I took some time to remind my lovely friend that during the years I'd known her, she'd made decisions and chosen paths that were quite out there in comparison to those of most people we knew. She had been brave and committed and gone with her heart. It seemed to have paid off for her, and importantly, her family. I encouraged her to revisit those times in her mind. We had a good old laugh at some of the situations, and also some heartfelt moments. I know you believe me, now, that you are going to be comfortable being more visible. It's great when you realize the endless possibilities that lie ahead now, because you understand that you are clever enough to be successful, and that it only takes one small shift, didn't it? That's it. And as you continue to listen and notice that, you can feel more and more confident that it's wonderful to feel comfortable being seen, isn't it? And as you consider how easy it is, you see how important it has been to learn that you deserve to be making an impact through your work, and the consistent actions you are taking now to be noticed, and that you can you not? You are changing all of the time. The fact that you want to change means that you will. So every time you think of being seen, I wonder how it will feel as you feel the excitement of unleashed potential which success will bring, don't you? I know you must be getting this now, at some level, that more self-belief will bring more freedom and happiness. As you continue breathing, sooner or later you will understand. This is more or less the right time to be comfortable being seen, visible, successful, now. And you can consider how good it is to note that it's easy to understand what I'm saying unconsciously, and you can take some time to integrate the decision you have made into the instinctive part of your mind. She realised that she can't control other people's opinions or thoughts about her choices, or how her extended family reacts to them. But she could decide not to let the possibility of their negativity stop her before she started. The thing she loved most about her work was helping people to shift and change their lives. If she didn't put herself out there, how would people who needed her know where to find her? I asked her if it might be worth considering how many more people she could help by making herself visible. She had nodded, and realised that her own focus had been in quite the opposite place to where it would serve her better. She'd smiled then, as she said, "There's only feedback. Those that mind don't matter, and those that matter don't mind." With that, we began to look at ideas for her new logo and Facebook page. The purse contained many gold coins and a note from the king. The note said that the gold was for the person who removed the boulder from the road. The farmer learned that many of us never fully understand or appreciate. Every obstacle, whether physical or in the mind, presents an opportunity to improve our condition. You look once again at the Grand Palace. There's 10, the sedate ground floor window of the library, with your eyes recalling that they've settled on the chair and relaxed your mind as the tulips were reflected softly waving. 9, 8, and then 7, the grand state rooms. Curiosity and interest seeping back into your mind. 6, starting to feel more awake as you follow my voice. 5, the big bay window. What a wonderful bright light. 4, over halfway. 3, you can feel the energy tingling back into your fingers and toes. 2, your eyes raising up onto the top floor, the windows there, full of light as they look out to the cradled sea. The little sailing boats drifting through sea and sky soundlessly, watching as the energy begins to bubble through your body, and you instinctively know that all the work is complete. 1, back to wakefulness, you are totally awake.